This is I Only Touch Greatness Remix. Scan the code and follow.
Hey, this is Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous man, UFC Hall of Famer, Impact Hall of Famer, and WWF Tag Team Intercontinental Champion. And you're listening to I Only Touch Greatness. 16th birthday. My want to say foster dad or dad, who's my dad, but at the time he hadn't adopted me yet. But on my 16th birthday, he threw me a birthday party. Remember where I grew up and how I grew up, there was no good times, right? So here I was in this group home with 18 boys, beautiful home, a mansion, and my birthday comes up. I've been there 3 years, and he has a live band come out. And they perform at the house because it was a big house. And all the people from town came to the house for the band. It was like a concert, but it was for the high school. And I remember that I felt like I was the star of my high school. It was a great feeling because I never was important, right? It was always this rough kid struggling. People thought I was a punk. And all of a sudden I started playing sports. I started becoming important. And then I get this birthday party thrown for me with someone who only known me 3 years, with a live band, and everybody's coming to my party from the high school. It was a special feeling, because again, like I said, I think you got to put yourself in my place and where I was from and how I grew up on how spectacular that felt for me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. How many people can say that they had a concert at their house? I mean, that's pretty cool.
Right.
Did you play any other sports growing up?
I wrestled. And these are controlled sports. I wrestled and I played football in high school. My last 2 years of high school, I wrestled. In all 4 years, I played football. But then I played basketball, intramural basketball with the boys' house team. I was one of the best players on the team. I could dunk. I also played softball, and I was always the guy when we load the bases to jack it out to get the maximum out of our minimum home runs we could hit. And then I also sponsored a team where I played called Beer Nuts, and we took 4th in the B League.
Oh wow! No wonder you're still so jacked.
Yeah.
You've been batting cleanup for years.
Yeah. It's when you do what I've done my whole life, which is wrestle, play football, basketball, play sports my whole life, and then get into professional fighting and train other fighters. It's a lifestyle. It's not like which I know other people do, but I don't understand how you commit your life to something. And then when you get to a point to where you've done everything you've done, whether it's football, basketball, whatever it is, and then you stop being the person you are. It's your DNA. It's who you are. So just because you stop playing football or stop fighting doesn't mean you become that guy that sits on the couch and eats potato chips and popcorn.
Oh, you're right.
That's for sure too. What made you get into MMA in the first place, or self-defense?
And when did it start?
Yeah, well, self-defense for me started at 5 years old. I mean, it was forced upon me at a young age, all the way till I was 13, in and out of juvenile hall, got stabbed, strong arm robbery, you name it, I did it. Got into placement. Another time where you have to defend for yourself. I was 18 boys in this one home that where I got adopted. But prior to that, I went to these other homes, same thing, where you had to fight for your space. It wasn't like everybody just took a shower and got ready and went to school. It was a fight for the shower. It was a fight for the sink. It was a fight for the bathroom. It was a fight for your space. If somebody went into your space and you allowed them to take your shaving cream or your soap or even your pillow, and you didn't do anything about it, you ain't going to have anything left at the end of the day because everybody's just going to take it from you. So, I got my butt kicked a lot. But there was one thing I had built into me was that if you do something to me, we're fighting, and you're going to know you were in a fight. I'm going to hit you with a lamp. I'll hit you with a bat. And if they're bigger, you're going to know you're in a fight, and you're not going to just walk all over me. So I had that developed in me at a very young age. And so when I got into wrestling and fighting, I had to learn that there were rules, even in football, where I just thought I could just hit people however I wanted to hit them and where I want to hit them. And of course, that's not true either. There's just certain times you can hit them. So it was really learning about how to understand rules so that I was able to go out there and compete at a high level with as much aggression as I wanted to.
So how was moving to the West Coast and everybody thinking you had that really strong Southern accent?
Yeah. Yeah, it gets real thick years ago when I started drinking, it get real thick and people thought I was part of the mafia or something, but it's definitely there. You can tell I'm from southern parts of the state.
And I get the same way. I have a Guinness and all of a sudden my Scottish accent comes in.
Right. Yeah.
If our stats are right here, you broke your neck in high school wrestling. What was that like, and coming back from an injury like that?
Yeah, it was intense, because like I told you, I got there when I was 13 years old in the group home, and by the time I was a senior, I was relevant. I wasn't this punk kid getting ready to die or go to prison. Now, all of a sudden, teachers wanted to help me with my work, and coaches wanted to make sure I got the grades, and it was important, and qualified. Actually, I think I was, 16, 17. So that was league. And then after that, so I would think I was like 20 something and it was a long time ago, but I hadn't been beaten all year in wrestling. Wow. And I'd beaten 2 Nevada state champions, one at 185 and another one at 175, because Nevada and California were 2 different weight divisions. So I beat 2 different guys that had won state multiple times in their weight in Nevada. So I was ranked, I was getting there. And then I went into practice because I qualified for the run at state. And the team wasn't there. So they come in and clean the mats and push them together. And, we start practice. But, when we had this, I was the only one that qualified. So we had to bring people in and they just pushed the mats together and we didn't clean them. And we just started in practicing. And I remember I took a dude that was about 200 pounds, 205 pounds, and was wrestling with him. And I went to scoop him and pick him up, and I slipped and he fell on me. And I remember, me being down, but him getting up because it was takedowns. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, get up. I couldn't move. And next thing I know, I'm in a Star Wars board. They clamp me together. They take me to Redding, California, which is 2 hours away from Susanville. Find out I broke my neck. And it was that hard part because everything that I was relevant in, everything that made my life what it was in that day was because I was good at something. I was good at sports. And that made me relevant. If not for that, who am I? And so I remember when the doctor came in and said that I was done, like I was not going to play contact sports again. I wasn't even worried about whether or not I could walk or not, because in my mind, it didn't sink in that it was that serious. It was just how long is it going to take to heal? So I didn't understand the seriousness of it, only understood that I was getting out, like it's going to heal. Yeah. But when he told me the words that I'll never play contact sports again, I might as well have been paralyzed, because to me, there was no vision of anything else other than going to college and moving on to something bigger and better. That was gone. I mean, in an instant, overnight, everything gone. And I remember my father said to me, during this time, and he said to me, and it was when I was laying in the hospital bed, he told me, he goes, you can lay there and pout, or you can get up and do something about it. He says, you're the only one that's going to do that. You're the only one that can change the direction you're going right now. He said, I can't do it for you. Nobody can do it for you. Only you can do it. And I remember thinking to myself, I mean, it was rough. It was harsh at the time. But I took it as a challenge. Like, he's right. It's like, this doctor's telling me that I can't do something, but he doesn't know me. He doesn't know what I'm willing to do to get to where it is I want to go. He has no idea of my character and what I want to do. And if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. And I remember thinking like that. That's how I thought. And that's how I got myself back to playing college ball. That's how I got myself back into a chance to be able to start doing pro wrestling, getting into the MMA world. It was all the mentality was in that comment was, nobody is going to do it for me. Yes, people can help me. Yes, people can give me chances. Yes, people put me in the right positions in right places, but I have to do it. I'm the one that has to get it done. And that stuck with me all the way through everything that I did in my life, even through adversity. I broke my neck again, years and years down the road. Did it again, had to have another surgery, got metal plates in there now. But it was the same mentality. I did my shoulder, titanium ball, did my knee replacement. But every step of the way, even my lower back, I got metal in my lower back. Every step of the way was, okay, where do I go from here? What do I need to do to get where I need to go from here? What are my plans? And when I set those plans, what do I need to do to accomplish that plan? And that's the way I've attacked life. That's the way I've attacked everything. That's the way I've attacked my after fight life.